What is up, everyone? I hope you're doing well this evening. This is Raphael Garcia here for episode 112 of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Today is Thursday, February 24th. And as always, I want to thank you for taking the time to check us out. As always, you can hit us up in multiple places, including MMAratings.net and .com, where you'll find our content mostly written by Schwan Humes, Michael Ford on our website there. You can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at MMARatingsNet in both spaces across all podcasting networks, including Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify. Search for MMA Ratings. And also on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel at MMA Ratings. And myself, you can check me out at rgarcia_sports on both social media platforms. So I wanted to say thank you for joining us today. We have a lot to talk about, especially in the free agent space. We'll be talking about AEW picking up Buddy Matthews and Swerve Strickland, with Buddy appearing on Dynamite this past week. We'll be talking about Cesaro, who just left the WWE as of today. We'll be talking about Jonathan Gresham being backstage, Tony Khan's big business deal. So we have quite a bit to chat about for today's show. So let's just go ahead and jump right into that. Again, thank you for taking the time to check us out. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this content wherever you can. So let's start off with AEW because they obviously had the most of the more news stories this week, but WWE definitely had their own fair share. So let's talk about some of their signings from, or I guess debuts and upcoming signings is the best way to say it. First, there was Buddy Matthews. He appeared on Dynamite this week, helping Kings of the Black Throne, Brody King, and Malachi Black after they lost to Pac and Penta Oscuro, which is a nice switch up. It didn't look too much different. I got to see if that music is different for him, but Penta had a different mask, and he went back to Penta Dark. That is known from the Lucha Underground days, and it was a good match. It was a good match between all four men. It was definitely a really fun match. Go back and watch it if you have the opportunity. I don't know. Like I feel some type of way with Malachi Black and Brody King taking the L. I think Black got pinned. I don't remember. I almost feel like that was unnecessary if they want to do the beatdown immediately after. So I have some kind of questions and thoughts about that. I don't think that was necessarily the way that they needed to go. They could have given the victory still to Kings of the Black Throne and still done a beatdown angle after that. But after the match, they continue to fight. Pac and Penta have the upper hand. Lights go down. They come back up, and it is Buddy Matthews there. He looks at first like he was going to help Pac and Penta. Obviously, everyone clearly knew that that's not why he was there, but he was looking fucking jacked. I mean, we knew Buddy Matthews is a hoss, not like a hoss battle type of guy, but he was definitely no longer in the cruiserweight division. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he posts a lot of his post-workout videos, and the dude has what we call the chronic pump, where he's always just looking vascular and looking pretty jacked, and he looked big on Dynamite this week, looked in great shape, and he attacked Pac first and attacked Penta. They made it look like he was a little pensive about what he was doing, which is something I'm sure that they'll kind of dive into throughout the weeks to come. I'm guessing that'll lead to some kind of animus between those two men, Matthews and Black, because they have a history of fighting each other all the way back to WWE, which you can easily go find. But it looked like he was a little bit pensive, but he still went through it. So let's see how that kind of plays out in the future. I wrote about this today for Daily DDT, but I think he's going to have an exceptional run with that company, potentially, unless if he gets lost in the shuffle somewhere. But I don't see that happening. The man can work. He can work, and he can work with anyone on that roster, period. I want to see him, if you go back and look at his match with Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson, whatever you want to call him back then, where he beat him in 2020, I believe. That was when everyone thought he was going to start to get a little bit of a better push, but it just didn't come right around the time we had that great match with Roman Reigns as well too. Everyone, you can see my co-host Teddy here. But he never really got that run in WWE, but he was still putting on some great matches. Go back and look at his cruiserweight title run. His matches with Mustafa Ali were some of the best across wrestling at that time. I definitely need to go back and watch them just for watching them sake. But those matches were some of the best matches that any promotion were putting on. I don't care where you were watching. You can't look at those matches and say that they weren't any good, because they were definitely fantastic back then. And I think that Matthews is going to fit in perfectly with the AEW roster. There's so many guys there for him to work with. I mean, you have Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks. You have Keith Lee now. You have Ray Phoenix, Pentagon. You have if Buddy Matthews and Pac have a one-on-one match somewhere down the line, that is going to be on the match of the year list for me immediately. Just because I think that it's going to be something that is quite exceptional and quite fun to watch. So let's keep an eye out for that, because those two guys can easily make that list. Like I said, I believe he has a lot of upside to offer this roster. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't bring him in sooner. He was released back in July of 2021, worked in some different spaces. I mean, he worked a pretty consistent type schedule from an independent standpoint, but I'm surprised he didn't get brought in earlier. Sean Ross Sapp broke the news that he had been signed, I think, last week or so. I want to say it was last week when I wrote that piece about that. So no one's surprised that he made the jump. They were hinting towards him during the recent promo with Malachi Black as well too. So it's still interesting to kind of see this build and see him there. There's so many different matches with him I want to see sooner rather than later. So let's kind of see how that plays out. There was another signing as well too. Sean Ross Sapp also broke the news about this, where Swerve is expected to head to AEW, expecting to be signed there, and that is another big pickup for them, because again, he's another guy with all the tools. He can wrestle. He has the personality. He can be a crossover name for that promotion. He needs to be in the top picture sooner rather than later. I don't want to see him have to get the Andrade treatment. Andrade's been, I don't want to say he's been underutilized by AEW in my mind. Even back when he had that match with Kenny Omega in Triple Mania, they didn't even mention that match in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to see Strickland get a similar treatment where he's stuck in an angle with Matt Hardy or stuck in pointless angles for an extended period of time. I think that this man can work, and he is one of the best in the business today, definitely one of the best free agents available. And as you see, it didn't take long for him to be signed by someone. His non-compete, I think, ended on the 18th, which was last week, a couple of days ago. So to see him get scooped up lets you know that he is someone that everybody was keeping an eye on. So I'm glad to see him get picked up by someone, and I hope that he gets the type of utilization that missed them in WWE. And this is the type that they need, because, again, people want to see AEW elevate a singles black guy, a singles black male performer to the top of their card, and they haven't done that yet. And this is another opportunity for them to correct that gap, because he is someone that they don't need to. He's someone that there doesn't need to be that whole we gotta wait and see vibe. He doesn't need that, because he's ready right now, and everyone recognizes that. So Swerve was another big addition to the roster this week. There was some additional news. Let's see. Jonathan Gresham, he was backstage. Now, he did not appear on Dynamite on Wednesday, but he was backstage. Again, another news bite by Sean Ross Sapp. And it was very interesting that he was, because he was backstage on Wednesday, and he still had to be in Terminus or in Atlanta today for Terminus 2, which is going on right now. that's interesting. And I think this is tied to Tony Khan's big announcement. He teased one on Friday. He said that he's working on something and it hasn't come. He hasn't been able to close the deal yet, but it's supposed to be something big. I think he's purchasing the ROH tape library, or maybe he purchases ROH outright, which would be huge because that sets them up in a perfect position to create some type of streaming platform. And if you told me that AEW had access to all ROH's past events, I'm just going to tell you, okay, where do I put in my credit card information? Because that's content. I'm not the biggest individual who watched a lot of ROH, but I'm familiar with some of their high points, like some of the high matches that they had, and I would definitely want to go back and watch a lot of that content, especially as you see a lot of these names, you see a lot of these faces across professional wrestling today at the top of cards. I would want to go back and see where a lot of them are performing, or a lot of them were performing, and that's something I would want to go investigate. That's a money opportunity for them, especially as they continue to create and develop content with Rampage, Dynamite, Dark, and Dark Elevation. That gives them somewhere else to put their content as well too. And I've always been looking for a space to watch that stuff in on demand. And I know that they will be able to build a base for a subscription network. Again, it will be another opportunity for them to fill a void that WWE kind of failed with sticking around and doing after moving the network over to Peacock. The network is trash on Peacock now. It's almost unusable, and it's not like it once was. So this is just another opportunity for AEW to step in and kind of fill in the gap in a way that was mishandled once again by WWE. So let's keep an eye out on whatever that news story will be. We'll probably hear more about that throughout the week. There's a lot of individuals that are kind of speculating that something about this AEW deal has to do with ROH, and I agree with that. I would not be surprised. At the least, it's them purchasing the tape library. At the most, it's them purchasing ROH outright and using that to kind of build out a streaming service, which I think would be huge for them and huge for the business as well too. Let's talk about MJF's promo from Dynamite 2. So I joked that this was not good at first, like the first couple of minutes that was going on, but after he started going into like his time in high school, going and like choosing pro wrestling over taking the opportunity to go play football on scholarship, and a lot of people started digging out and looking at stuff that, his story was true, like him getting quarters thrown at him, or that moment when Bryan Danielson and CM Punk shook hands in WWE and they had their match. Like those were the moments that he kind of highlighted in his childhood that pushed him into becoming a pro wrestler. And seeing him deliver that promo and then seeing CM Punk come out and like kind of be frazzled by it, that was a fantastic moment. And a lot of people are pointing to if they're doing the double turn between the two at Revolution. I don't think they're doing that. I think that MJF is going to do something to get all of that heat back and get it back in the worst way that people are going to want to see him get his ass beat. I do think he beat CM Punk at Revolution. I believe that is the victory that elevates him to the title. Not that he takes it off of Adam Page, but that was a huge moment. And I think it's going to be it won't be the moment where we see the double turn where we see Punk go heel and MJF become a face. I think we're still too soon for that. But I do believe that this is a catalyst for Punk's heel turn. There's too much money in Punk being a face right now. I don't think we need that big heel right this moment, because when Punk becomes a heel, you have to put the bar on him at some point in time. You have to. And I don't think that he's the one that beats Hangman yet. I think that they have someone else beat Hangman. But man, there's so many options on how they get there. How do they get to that point? And that's something worth keeping an eye on and watching, because you really don't know what direction they're going, and they can go in so many different twists and turns, and that's what makes their content so interesting. Like I've always written about and I've talked about multiple times, there's a place for predictability in professional wrestling because, like, we knew, for example, that Adam Page was going to beat Kenny Omega. We knew that that was coming. We knew that Kenny Omega was going to beat John Moxley. We knew that those title changes were coming, but they didn't make the moments any less enjoyable. So that's where like predictability really kind of works. And professional wrestling, AEW is doing a fantastic job of leveraging that. So I'm not really sure when Page is going to lose that title. It's probably going to be a predictable moment. And I don't think that Punk is the guy to take it from him. I think that they don't do the double turn at Revolution. I think between now and that event, MJF's going to do some dastardly shit to Punk, and it's going to kind of kick that feud off to a whole new level. And that brings me to actually talking about Revolution, which is on March 6th. So that's what, 2 weeks from now, 2 Sundays. And they didn't have a card 2 weeks ago. At least they didn't have one announced. And in less than 2 weeks, this is the most interesting card in professional wrestling. I'm more interested in this than in WrestleMania by a mile. I'm actually not going to watch WrestleMania. I'm going to be on a little bit of a mini vacation that weekend, and I might come back and watch it later because I don't care anything about the matches that they've kind of announced so far. I'll be talking about that in a moment. But AEW Revolution, that card looks stacked. The ladder match, they have Keith Lee, Wardlow, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs right now. They have 2 more spots. They haven't said if it's a casino casino ladder match. I think it's just a regular ladder match, so I don't expect any surprise entrance. But that's going to be big. I'm looking at Keith Lee to win that. But, we'll just have to see. Because right now he's the one who looks like the individual that should come out on top. But we'll see who else that they put in it. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I wanted this to headline an event. It's not headlining over anything that I've talked about so far. But I think it's going to be a fantastic match. They got to get that belt off of Britt Baker. And I'll be doing a more in-depth preview the week before that show. But that's a great match. And you have MJF, CM Punk in a dog collar match. They have Adam Page versus Adam Cole. They just added Bryan Danielson and John Moxley. They're going to beat the shit out of each other, period. And then they're going to become the 2-man power trip, which is going to be even more exceptional in AEW than it was when Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin did it. I can't wait for that. But there's so much to really look forward to across this card. What else there? They have the tag team, the tag team title match. I mean, it'll be good. Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon versus probably the Young Bucks. So that should be a good one. Then they have the tornado tag as well too. Jade Cargill, will she be defending her title? Will there be more than one women's match on this pay-per-view? We'll have to see. But this looks like an exceptional show coming together, and I'm really looking forward to that on March 6th. I'll be sure. I wish it was on a Saturday, but they've flipped over to Sunday pay-per-views, and WWE's kind of going over to Saturday, so we just got to kind of live with that. And speaking of WWE, let's talk about some of their topics from this week. So first, we see that today news broke that Cesaro is leaving, or he's gone from WWE. His contract expired, and he is no longer part of the roster. This is big because since his Since his contract expired and he wasn't released, he does not have a non-compete, meaning that he can show up anywhere tomorrow, for lack of a better term, like if he wanted to. And that's huge. I don't think he goes to AEW. I think he goes to New Japan, which is a place where he can really kind of tear it up. I mean, imagine him versus Jeff Cobb. Like that's someone that really stood out to me. Imagine him versus Okada, him versus Ishimori, him versus Shingo. Like there's so many different matches that we could see in that space that I think would be fantastic for him. There's so much that he could do now, which I think is important. And it's unfortunate that he was leveraged the way he was when he was a part of WWE, and that played a part into his leaving, which makes sense. Which really does like make sense, and that shouldn't surprise anyone because he hasn't been leveraged in the best in years. Like even his run against Seth Rollins recently just didn't really mean anything. He got the win against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and then just kind of fell back into obscurity. It's funny because I was thinking of doing a piece about the number of people WWE has missed on recently, and it would be super long. I mean, him, Ali, Tate Conti, who else have they gotten rid of? They've gotten rid of so many other people. Buddy Matthews, uh, Ruby Soho. Like, there's so many people that they just kind of jettisoned that could have been used, especially now as you look at the roster and it's so thinned out that you wonder what are they really kind of thinking from a roster standpoint. But clearly they're worried about profits and budget first. But back to Cesaro, he's someone that could have been a champion. He never really got that title run. People wanted to see that singles run from him, and he never really got it. Even as a tag team, him and Sheamus were amazing. I mean, they really exceeded what people thought that they were really going to be as the bar, and it's unfortunate just to see him kind of just leave like that. I hope that he gets the opportunity to do a lot of the things that he wants to do in wrestling. The report from Fightful Select talked about how that was a part of the reason why he left. He wanted to do more. He wanted to be better leveraged, and I'm sure he stacked up some good money while he was in WWE these last 10 plus years. So I hope that he has the opportunity to kind of go out and do what he wants to do from a performance standpoint. And we are quickly reminded that he's one of the best workers in the industry because he could be putting on a show anywhere that he's signed, and he could show up tomorrow and go at it. So I hope that he has the best opportunity to do so going forward. Then going in the opposite direction with free agency, AJ Styles has re-signed with the WWE and he'll be staying there. He talked about this in an interview, I think, with Ariel Helwani, where he's like, he's happy with where he is and he wants to continue working there even after his in-ring time retires. And I mean, hey, you can't fault people for being happy with their job. I started a new job this week and I'm happy with it because I left my last position because I was unhappy with it. So you can't fault these men and women for getting into the WWE, earning their paychecks, and be like, you know what, I'm okay with this, and I want to stick around here for a while. So you can't be upset with that. If that's the right move for him, and his family, then go so be it. Same thing with Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, not Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and other people that have re-signed there recently that fans wanted to see them go somewhere else. I mean, you can't expect everybody to show up in AEW. You can't expect everybody to show up in Impact or somewhere else. They're going to do what's best for them. And sometimes taking the money, taking the stability, and taking the opportunity that WWE kind of offers them through contract might be better for them. I do hope that we get a little bit more from AJ Styles. He's been killing it. I mean, whenever they put him in the ring with anyone, he just goes out there and has a fantastic match. His match with Damian Priest was good. His match with Austin Theory is on my list as one of the best matches of the year so far. So you can expect great things from him. Even his match with Grayson Waller, I think that was at the end of last year. Fantastic as well, too. So you can expect big things from AJ Styles. I'm assuming that him and Edge are headed towards the match at WrestleMania, which should probably be one of the better ones of the show. and it's one that I think people really want to see. So let's kind of see what's next for him, and I hope that he gets another title run at some point in time, because I could see him being in a strong main event feud, especially as WWE kind of struggles to find more individuals to put at the top of the card. Him versus Roman will be excellent. They had an opportunity with him and Big E. He could be the champion of Raw and carry that show. So let's hope that he gets back into the title picture after WrestleMania comes around, and he gets that rub that he gets that place that he should be getting. Speaking of WrestleMania, the card is taking shape. Let me see, what do we have for that so far? I think we have a couple matches, 3 or 4 matches. Let me pull that up. So far, we have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Bel-Air, and Los Mysterios versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Don't care about that. Only thing I want to talk about right now is the fact that it looks Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey has been announced as one of the main events, probably for night 1. Yeah, like I said, I tweeted last week from the Daily DDT account that nobody wants this match, and I'm going to stand on that. I couldn't care less about Charlotte Flair. Couldn't care less about Ronda Rousey. I know Charlotte's going to do the best she can to get a good match out of Ronda. I think it'll be fun. Maybe their singles match at, what was that? No Way Out last year, or whatever that show was. Last year was good. The one where Charlotte got disqualified at the end. But I mean, I don't need Ronda Rousey as champion. Shit, I don't want Charlotte as champion right now. The whole division has been stagnant and dead since she had that championship. She hasn't defended it. That belt hasn't been defended on pay-per-view since October. Full stop. Her last match defending that title was against Toni Storm. Toni Storm had that match and they said, "Fuck y'all, I'm out." She was in the Royal Rumble because they couldn't find a match for her. She wasn't on day 1. That division is not good. They got Shotzi Blackheart sitting backstage, Xia Li backstage, Aaliyah barely doing anything. Like, they could build. They have all these women in NXT. They could have done so many different options, but they decided not to, and they went back to Ronda Rousey, and they created a match that is not a click generator for me. It just is whatever. But I'm sure Ronda's going to win, and she'll be champion, and they'll probably go back to her trying to get both belts again or figuring out some bullshit. I don't care about Ronda Rousey in WWE. The other one is another title match that I'm like blah about, because we have Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns fighting for both titles in a winner-take-all match. In my opinion, this needs to be the last time these two guys face off. Roman needs to win clean, and that needs to be it. Enough is enough, as I wrote about that yesterday, I believe. Enough is enough with this. There's no one, because of these two men, no one else in the men's division on either show looks like a quality title contender. No one. And who are we going to look forward to challenging Roman? I think Roman's going to win. So who are we going to look forward to challenging Roman the night after WrestleMania? Cody Rhodes? Okay, they're going to book Cody well for what, 2 months? And then what? What do you go back to? The Miz? What do you go back to? Brock Lesnar again? Drew McIntyre? No, I don't want any of that. I can't even be excited for Big E right now because I know that they're not going to book him well. So where do we go from here after WrestleMania? And even if Brock wins both titles, no one's good enough to defeat him. I mean, he crushed everybody else in the Elimination Chamber, just as I basically predicted, pinning everybody. So if 5 other men can't jump him and stop him, what is the point of this? What are we doing right now? And we'll see how it plays out, but I expect Roman to get the victory, and I expect him to have both belts, but I'm not excited for what else is coming. Like I said, this card does not excite me. And I don't think that they really have anything that they can add to it to really excite me at any point in time. Stone Cold won't help it. I wrote about that as well too. He doesn't come in and save the day. So I'm really concerned about what they're going to do, and that's why I'm not too upset that I'll be missing it because I'll be on the beach. But hey, we'll see. This is WWE. That's what they do. No one should be surprised at this point. But with that in mind, let me see. We're going to go ahead and close it out today. As always, I thank you for taking the time to check out our show. Please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and share our content. We are trying to build up our following base there. And we have the show on Thursdays. On Wednesdays, there's the MMA Ratings Podcast with myself and Shawan Humes. So as always, thank you for taking the time to check us out. You can hit me up at rgarcia_sports across Instagram and Twitter, MMA Ratings Net across Instagram and Twitter, and MMA Ratings across all podcasting networks. Check us out at MMAratings.net and .com as always too. So again, thank you everyone for listening to the show. Again, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe this weekend. Enjoy your weekend. It's getting nice outside. So again, be safe everyone, and put some good vibes and some prayers out there for what's going on in Ukraine right now as well too. Everyone stay safe.